What are your thoughts on how Bo Nix has looked these first couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say he's looked like a rookie. And looks like a kid that's got a lot of talent, tons of arm talent, is mobile. From what I can see from a distance, is a leader that guys appreciate his style and what he's doing and how he goes about his daily business and getting the job done. And that's really important. I think we can dive into that later. But I mean, if you're a quarterback, you got to have the guys around you believing and confident in what you're doing, whether you're doing it really well or whether you're doing it at the top level and the best in the league, whatever it is. If you're consistent and getting after it, I see him playing like a rookie. He's making throws that were probably good in practice because it's not as fast, and now they're getting to be interceptions. And he's going to learn. You got to. There's just that little fine line you have that you got to teeter on it, push it sometimes to learn your limitations, but just take better care of the ball, and he will by throwing those interceptions. And this kind of sucks. He's got to throw those in order to know, oh yeah, don't be drifting backwards and throw a ball into the red zone unless I know that it's going to be, But I made those mistakes even year 8. It's just part of being a gunslinger and a football player and going out there and competing. And I think he'll be okay. I think the team's going to grow around him. The coaches are going to keep changing and moving things in the right direction that suit him well. At least I hope so. Put him in positions to succeed. But I can tell you one thing: the team needs to step up around him. I mean, I see some guys doing it, but I think an overall ramp up from everybody. Let's go. Who's the leaders? Who are our enigmatic tone setters? Like, time to start stepping up and voicing that and stepping up and stepping up behind those words and showing up. So all in all, he's doing all right. What I
Yeah,
expect.
tough to see some of those drops. The offensive line, definitely some issues there, and then now Mike McGlinchey going to IR. Let me
Yeah,
ask
it's
you
rough.
this, Jake: for a rookie quarterback, how important is confidence out there?
No, it's huge. I mean, it's hard when you're throwing interceptions and people are talking about them constantly, and that you can do better. I think it's just part of the process for him. These kids come out so well prepared these days. They don't get to choose what system they get to go be a part of. And I know that Coach Payton is a real high level, smart coach that can do a lot of great things offensively, which means that it's probably a little bit complicated to some degree because you don't have a lethal offense if you're just running 4 plays. You got to have a wide array of sets and formations and multiple concepts that you're working with. So it takes a little time, and confidence comes from, focusing more on the good things you're doing, learning from the bad things, but letting them go. Like, short memory, young man, short memory. Let them go. There's nothing you can do about the interception in the red zone once you've made that play. Move on and get ready to make the next play. And I see that from him. I see him coming out, not showing signs of like, oh, poor, pitiful me. Oh, no, the city's going to be down on me now. Like, he knows this isn't just a one-hit wonder. I'm going to try for 1 year and go away. Like, his goal and dream has been to make it here. Now he's here. Now the real work begins.
It's got to be hard though. Like you throw an interception there in the red zone, you don't feel like maybe you let your teammates down, that kind of thing. But yeah, you're right. You got to bounce back. Is the thing that you're worried about though with any rookie quarterback is developing some bad habits?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, there's under such scrutiny right now. I mean, if he's starting to throw multiple interceptions in the red zone, you just don't want him. The worst thing is to get gun shy. Like, I love seeing him try to make those plays personally. There wasn't a play in the league that I didn't try to make. Some of them ended up in interceptions.
Uh-huh.
That's part of it. Those dudes across the ball are professionals also. They're the best of the best, best in the world. So you're going to make some mistakes. Now, situationally, conceptually, calling the right plays, getting a good running game, like, there's ways to support that so that it's not always on him. But at some point, yeah, you got to pull the trigger. You have to throw the 3rd and 12 and the 3rd and 15, and you got to make those plays. We can't throw a crossing route at 3 yards trying to get 15 every time it's 3rd and 15. At some point, you got to run a deep dig and fit it in over the linebacker's head and in front of the safety and out of reach of that DB. And that, we see other quarterbacks doing that, and that's just part of this process. And it's gonna take a little bit of time, but I think, for him, it's obviously we're going to be hyper focused on him all the time. Why? Because we see something in him. We see like, ooh, man, that first game they were down. He kept fighting. He was crafty on that pump fake spin move touchdown. They were one play away. If that guy doesn't make a miraculous one-hand catch, they get a chance to get the ball back. Do they win? I don't know. But those are the situations we want to see him in. I want to see him in the rest of this season. I want to see every game left, him have the ball in his hand with 1:50 and 3 points, 5 points, 6 points needing to be scored. And that's where he's going to get that confidence. That's where he's going to get the teammates to believe in him. And that'll happen, hopefully. I mean, and if it doesn't, then hey, that's where you got to wait and see, right? But I'm an optimist, so I believe that he'll make those plays and make something happen eventually with the right coaching.
You mentioned the coaching there a little bit, Jake. What kind of things can Sean Payton do to put him in? Maybe, like you mentioned, like it's such a complicated offense. Is there a way to make this thing a little bit simpler? Like one idea I had was like the bootleg. Like just eliminating half the field and then just going out there and making a play. You would know that better than anybody else.
Great idea, Phil. I mean, that's awesome. But you better have a hardcore downhill running game to complement that. No one's biting on a fake if you aren't get gashing them for 5, for 6, for 10 consistently. So, I was really good booting out. It was one of my fortes. That I loved it. It was my favorite thing. If we weren't running the ball well, it was hard. Those guys, those DNs aren't crashing. The linebackers aren't flowing to the ball because it's a downhill run. They know, oh, we can stop these guys with 5, 6 in the box. They're not running the ball. So there's balance there. You got to find that balance. You got to, for me, be brutally honest, I'm waiting to see who the leaders on this team are. The best players that we've been told are the best players so far have underperformed. I won't say names. I won't talk about that. They know who they are. Who are you? If you're making a bunch of money in this league, if you're being paid one of the highest paid players in the Broncos, then step up. And start stepping up and demanding that everybody around you steps up. And then when you get a chance to make a play, you make that play. Therefore, your voice of saying step up is not going unheard. And there's multiple guys on this team that can do it. I'm waiting to see who that is. So there's a reason other than Bo Nix to turn the TV on and watch the Broncos, or to go to a game and go, man, these guys got some vibrations going. These guys have some players that I'm waiting to see so-and-so and so-and-so because they're making plays. Like, who are you? When are you going to step up? When are we going to have some other players step up so it's not all Bo Nix, Bo Nix, Bo Nix, we're 0-2, Bo Nix. No, Bo's doing the best he can. The rest of these guys, they need to step up. And those are said behind closed doors when you're in a team. But in the public, we can sit and analyze Bo's play, but we can also look at some other guys and say, yo, come on, let's step up to your level of what we're supposed to be believing that you are at, as the pay you're getting, but also what you've been putting out there as, I'm this, I'm that. Well, let's see it. I want to see it. And I played with some great players that, that's what they did. Rod Smith, if he was going to say, I'm going to go do this, let's pick it up, he'd go make that catch on 3rd and 10 when I threw a shitty ball. He'd go back and get it and make me look good, and we'd get a first down. He would step up to that. So I'm waiting for that. I know it can happen, and it's not something you can force. You can't go out like, oh, but you can just, all of you, like, get that focus and get that desire to, like, do better for the guy next to you, do better for the guy over here, do better for Bo, make the job easier for him.